Introducing first, in the corner to my immediate left, from Indianapolis, Indiana, weighing in at 237 pounds, Johnny Weaver.
Tag team match, NWA Starrcade 1983, live to tape watch along.
From the Sunshine State of Florida, weighing in at 216 pounds, Scott McGee. Their opponents, first from Boston, Massachusetts, weighing in at 230 pounds, Kevin Sullivan.
Man from the dark side, Kevin Sullivan.
And his team partner, accompanied by his manager, trainer, and advisor, Gary Hart.
Gary Hart, the legend. And the maniac, Mark Lewin.
Referee, Sonny Fargo.
Sonny Fargo is the referee. Here we go. Fans, welcome back. Live to tape watch along. Kevin Sullivan, Mark Lewin, along with Gary Hart, taking on Johnny Weaver and Scott McGee. NWA 1983, Starrcade, the original, A Flair for the Gold. We're doing this in segments. As I said, we are live to tape on the watch along from Chaos Corner, here in the executive room of Chaos Corner. Here we go. Kevin Sullivan locks up with Johnny Weaver to open up the tag team match here. Now, this is Kevin Sullivan, Mark Lewin. We know the history from Florida Championship Wrestling. We know the history of the man from the dark side, the Purple Haze, Mark Lewin and Kevin Sullivan, to go on and what he did in the feud between Sullivan and Lewin and the Purple Haze and all the different folks that Bob Roop, Mucka Singh, so to speak, in the feuds with Dusty Rhodes down in Florida, even bringing Nancy Benoit as woman back then. Unbelievable history between Dusty Rhodes and Kevin Sullivan, and then throwing Lewin right here is in tremendous shape. As I said, the referee is Sonny Fargo, McGee and Weaver. We'll use the term jobbers because that's the term from the 80s. I'm glad you guys are here for this. We're off Twitter now. We're on all social media platforms. Follow me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Rumble, Parler, Gitter, Gab. We talked about them all. What a classic this was. At this point, I'm 20 years old in my life at this time. Been a fan already for over 10 years at that point. Sullivan tags Lewin to come in against Johnny Weaver. On the broadcast, the legendary Gordon Soley and Bob Cottle. Backstage, Tony Schiavone. McGee now tags in Johnny Weaver. Take it over on Lewin. Lewin was in tremendous shape. Large individual. Kevin Sullivan here in 2022 is still active, and he has brought in the reinforcer, Andrew Anderson, Big Drew, as the new and improved, up-to-date 2.0 Purple Haze. You can still see them on the independent circuits, everywhere from SWE and all over the country. Truly a legend, Andrew Anderson, the new Purple Haze, along with still Kevin Sullivan. Think about that. This is 30 years ago, 35 years ago.
This one, Gordon, and I think fans around the world are waiting to see a collar match for the chain, the United States Heavyweight Championship match. Roddy Piper and Greg Valentine.
We're going to cover that here on the live to tape in different segments, as I said. Roddy Piper, Greg the Hammer Valentine in the dog collar match. And, of course, a Flair for the Gold, Ric Flair, Harley Race. This is going to be an unbelievable live to tape watch along. 1983, the National Wrestling Alliance. Go back and check out everything on the YouTube channel. We're coming up on 1,000 videos. Not to mention almost 100 episodes of Chaos Corner, the show, with yours truly. Lewin is in now on Scotty McGee. And look at Lewin was in great shape. The crowd, we have over 15,000, 16,000 here at the Greensboro Coliseum. Nothing like listening to Gordon Soley, Bob Cottle, even Schiavone back then. Of course, good old JR. Now, I'm wondering if you guys can hear some of the background, the crowds. I talked about it in the last the watch along, live to tape watch along I did with the Worldwide Wrestling Federation from 1986. The crowds popped for everything, truly into it. Here's the double team effort, as dirty as they were. Of course, the legends, Lewin and Sullivan, taking over on Scotty McGee. Fargo, the ref, has seen nothing. And look at the referees back then. Sonny Fargo, you have Tommy Young. There'll be other wrestlers come out at this time that went on for years. Bill Alfonso. It really was unbelievable wrestlers. They knew their place. They communicated fantastic. And you see the managers. We saw in the first segment here, the Assassins against Bugsy McGraw and Rufus R. Jones. You had the legendary Playboy Gary Hart, perhaps one of the best ever as a manager in the first bout. In the second bout here, we had Paul Jones in the first bout. In the second bout here, we have Playboy Gary Hart. Let's think about that. First two matches here in 83 Starrcade. Put that in perspective and how the managers aren't really used today. As I ramble on here, and I say I'm usually quiet during the live-to-tape watch-alongs. But Gary Hart, I had a chance to work with Gary Hart a couple of times on different events and be in the same locker room and pick his brain. Unbelievable. And like I said before this, in the first match, managing the Assassins was Paul Jones. Let me relax here for a second. Segment 2 here. Here's Johnny Weaver trying to get a little comeback going here on Sullivan and Mark Lewin. Beautiful bulldog. And they call it the Oklahoma Stampede. Oh, because he was from Oklahoma. He's going for a second time. Sullivan blocks it. Here comes Lewin. Let's be honest, as I said in other live-to-tape watch-alongs, no one believes that Weaver and McGee have a chance here against Lewin and Kevin Sullivan. Had a chance to be on a couple of different events with Kevin Sullivan in my independent managerial career. Was even introduced to Ric Flair at the Boston Garden in the early 90s by the legendary local legend Bull Montana. He introduced me as Sullivan's tag team partner to Ric Flair, and I wasn't going to correct anybody, but it was what it was. I did have a chance to be with Sullivan, but I wasn't his tag team partner. Look at how they take over here. Lewin going to the top rope, out of his element. Beautiful knee to the shoulder on Johnny Weaver. And here's the cover. 3 count by Sonny Fargo. It's over. Your winners, Maniac Mark Lewin at this point, and Kevin Sullivan with Gary Hart as they pound away on Weaver and McGee after the fact. Drop kick on Gary Hart by McGee. Fantastic. Well, Gary Hart pulls something out of his boot. Mark Lewin takes it. And there it is, the Asiatic spike. This is where it was all insanity. Look at that. Mark Lewin with the Asiatic spike. He took it out of Gary Hart's boot. Now Sullivan and Lewin are going to town on Weaver and Scotty McGee. Busted him open. Crimson mass. Blood everywhere. Somebody interfered, and now Lewin's hitting him with the Asiatic spike. That's Angelo Mosca. The legendary Angelo King Kong Mosca is out there getting lacerated open too, as you hear Soli. Look at the blood, busted open. Sullivan and Lewin are just savage right now, busting open everyone. King Kong Mosca's trying. He's running everybody out of the ring. Fans, stay tuned. Live to tape, watch along. NWA Starrcade 1983 with your old buddy, the Guardian of Chaos. Don't you dare miss it. Come on back. I'm comfortable. I'm in the recliner.